Good morning, it's November 10th, and it says, "To my liberal friends." We can now see the light at the end of the tunnel with respect to the government shutdown. A group of moderate Democrats have been meeting with Republican leader John Thune, and they forged an agreement that allowed the motion to proceed to advance last night. 8 Senate Democrats crossed the aisle, giving Thune the necessary 60 votes to mark the first step in the GOP's quest to end the shutdown. Many of the lawmakers that splintered from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer were among those engaged in bipartisan talks over the last several weeks. Among the defectors was Senator Angus King, John Fetterman, and Catherine Cortez Masto. Those three have been voting all along during the shutdown. They were joined by Jeanine Shaheen, a key player in these negotiations, Maggie Hassan, Jackie Rosen, Tim Kaine, and the number 2 Democrat in the Senate, Dick Durbin. It should be pointed out that Dick Durbin and Maggie and Jeanine Shaheen are retiring, so they don't have to fear the electorate. Gary Peters from Michigan, who's also retiring, was involved in the talks, but he ended up voting no. For the past month, Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has kept his caucus together for the most part and demanded that any movement to end the government shutdown include an extension of the health care tax credits that are a form of subsidy. Unfortunately, for Schumer and his allies on the left wing of the party, this deal does not get them what they wanted. With that in mind, we have to look at what's in this deal. Sunday's vote was the first in a series needed in the Senate to modify the original House-passed continuing resolution and combine it with these 3 spending packages, basically a minibus, and an updated CR, which, if passed, would reopen the government until the end of January. There are a lot of provisions in the new bill, and one of them is that any federal worker laid off during the shutdown would get their job back. The proposal would fund military construction, Veterans Affairs, the Department of Agriculture, which includes SNAP, and the legislative branch through September 30th, 2026. In effect, it would take these appropriations bills off the table the next time around. Thune also agreed, as part of a larger agreement, to schedule a vote later this year, in December, on the legislation to extend the enhanced health care insurance premium subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, and they're due to expire in January. What this means is there will be a full and open debate about Obamacare, and hopefully there'll be some effort to reform it and make it better. This will come up when the Senate debates the HHS appropriations bill. At that time, we can look at the problems that have developed in the program. Now, I would go back to the proposal put forward by 4 bipartisan members of the House and put some limits on subsidies. They propose phasing them out once a household income reaches $200,000 and have them completely gone at $400,000. Now, how many of you think that people with that kind of income need a government subsidy? Then we have the problems in the health insurance industry. Last year, between January and August of 2024, there were over 180,000 complaints filed about insurance agents enrolling people in Obamacare without their knowledge. The agent gets paid his commission, and that's all they're interested in. Thousands of people have died, and yet the agents keep them enrolled in the program. And this has been costing taxpayers billions of dollars each and every year. But the left wing of the party is not going to roll over. They're privately warning they will not yield back all the time required before the final passage vote, an act of resistance that could delay the shutdown for several more days. I suggest they do this at their own peril. It was becoming abundantly clear the public was starting to shift who to blame for the shutdown. Now, what this means over in the House, Hakeem Jeffries saying we're not going to vote for it. But he knows there's some centrists in the House that want to vote for this. So in the end, Democrats on the far left are going to jump up and down, stomp their feet, but it's going to pass. And we're going to get the government reopened. But more importantly, we're going to get a open and full look at what is going on in Obamacare. And we need some reforms. And then we need to look at what's going on in the health industry itself. Why are costs escalating so much? Why are they going up so fast? We need to bring some realistic approaches to this and get these costs under control. One of the proposals in this bill that might come forward is where instead of getting a tax subsidy, there would be a direct payment to those who need the help in getting their subsidy, not to those that don't. I think this is a good step forward. Hopefully in the next few days we can see this government shutdown ended and we can all get on with our lives and get on with our business. And maybe just there's a chance the government would learn to work together and compromise would no longer be a dirty word in Washington, D.C. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.